shootouts can be very dangerous. So when you're walking down the street and find yourself in the middle of one, don't run. Instead, duck, dodge, and roll.
On Facebook, I ain't beefing with no nigga.
Many sheriff's deputies are searching for clues about a body found near a lake.
This is Sean Avant Jr., who is better known as the rapper Huncho Dinero, whose name became known across social media after surviving a shootout that was captured live on Facebook. On January 20th, 2019, Huncho is seen outside a home in Birmingham, Alabama.
Y'all act like y'all just so slime and shit. Y'all act like y'all slime and shit. Y'all niggas ain't slime for real.
In the video, he's live streaming yelling at his audience and his ops to pull up on him.
Nigga, what the fuck you invite me to your live for? What the fuck you even going live about me for? Fuck nigga, cause you mad cause I said you ain't gang? You ain't gang if you ain't hanging around me and Shannon and Ray Ray? And Kendrick, wait. Oh, mom. I want nigga to come through the whole plan, cause I'ma dump their ass out.
In the beginning, a guy jumps into his stream he's apparently friends with. The guy can be heard telling Huncho to calm down and then asked why he is arguing with people he's supposed to be cool with. Huncho tells him it's because they went live flashing guns and disrespecting him.
The only reason why I'm beefing with all these folks because...
Hey bro, what you got going on?
Man, you better control that motherfucking brother.
Man, what y'all doing, bro? What the fuck y'all doing? Man, bro, y'all supposed to be cool. The fuck y'all beefing for?
That's what I'm saying.
Ride with this shit, bro. That's 12 as hell. Talking about you think they gonna strap me and everything, but that police ass shit, dude.
Man, bro, they don't lie. They don't lie.
Don't let they dumb ass nigga. But alright, bro, I'm finna call them, bro. Alright.
I've been getting money without all these niggas.
Minutes later, he gets in a shootout.
On Facebook, I ain't beefing with no nigga. On Facebook, I ain't beefing with the North Side because of these niggas no more. I ain't beefing with Love because of these niggas no more. I ain't beefing. Fuck wrong with these niggas, cuz stop playing, bro.
After returning fire, Huncho picked his phone up off the ground and continued live streaming. He then starts taunting the guys who had just shot at him, telling them to spin back through as he walked out of the house.
Spin back through, on Ray Ray, spin back through. Spin back through, on Ray Ray, spin back through.
Moments later, they did exactly that.
Nigga, and I'm outside with this shit, nigga, wait. Yo, what's up? And I'm outside with this shit. Wait.
The shooters drove back down the street and opened fire on him once again. Huncho immediately returned fire, exchanging another round of gunshots in the middle of the neighborhood.
Nigga wanna hit, record. Nigga wanna shoot. Man, nigga wanna shoot nigga wanna drive down the street while they record.
What's even more insane is that after the second shootout ended, Huncho remained standing on the front porch, continuing to challenge the guys to come back.
Y'all spin back through, nigga, I'm shooting back at everybody. Spin back through. I'm my grandma.
Despite the barrage of gunfire, Huncho somehow managed to not get shot. After surviving the Facebook Live shootout, Huncho's YouTube channel started gaining significant attention online. The viral video introduced thousands of new people to his music, and his videos on YouTube started receiving more views than ever before. As his following grew, he began performing live at local venues and looked like an up-and-coming rapper with momentum behind him. But away from the music, Huncho was also known to have ongoing conflicts. According to people who knew him and discussions surrounding the case, he was still involved in street gang life and had clearly made enemies during the shootout. And unfortunately for him, it wouldn't be long before his name was back in the headlines. Just months later, Huncho suddenly disappeared. Friends and family reported him missing after they were unable to contact him, sparking concern throughout the local community. But days later, the search came to a disturbing end.
County sheriff's deputies are searching for clues about a body found near a lake, and tonight investigators are confirming that body is a male. It was reported just before 12:30 today on Mulga Loop Road. This is near Bayview Lake. The coroner's office is working to determine the identity of that body.
He was found dead in a wooded area near a lake in Jefferson County, just outside of Birmingham. Authorities determined he had been shot multiple times. His death was ruled a homicide, but unlike the live stream shooting, there were no cameras, no witnesses, and very few answers. No arrests were ever made, no suspects were ever publicly identified, and to this day, his murder remains unsolved. The date he disappeared was on February 6th, 2020, and what I find especially strange is that 3 days before Huncho disappeared, a video was uploaded showing him in a heated argument with another man known as YBN Day Day. In the video, Day Day can be heard pleading with Huncho and the people around him, insisting that he was innocent of whatever they were accusing him of.
I would never do you like that, bro. I want my people on you, bro. I'll let my brother know you, bro.
Hold on, let me see the video, bitch. Chill out, bitch. Y'all chill out.
What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ,
oh, God, bitch, he
Jesus Christ, nigga. You can go through my inbox and everything, nigga. I was with my baby mama all night. All night.
Adding even more mystery to the case, a while after Huncho's death, a woman who described herself as his play sister made a video saying she believed he had been set up by people he knew.
If he ain't gonna know without his gun, how he died without it. He died because he was around somebody that he trusted. Dumbass nigga, that's what I just said. I know, trust me, I know. This shit was a setup, fam. My brother didn't go with nobody he did not trust. Oh, off the hop. I ain't finna get to calling no names, but just believe we gon'
Personally, I think there's a good chance Huncho's murder was connected to the gang life he was living. Whether it was retaliation for the shootout, the argument he had 3 days before he disappeared, or whether he was betrayed by someone in his own circle, we'll probably never know for sure. Because so little information has ever been released publicly, and with no arrests or official motive announced, I believe there's a strong possibility this case may never be solved.
Well, nigga, I'm shooting back at everybody. I'm shooting back at everybody, spin back through.
Hear a hail of bullets from a semi-automatic, gotta just dodge and roll.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this.
For centuries, the Muharram firewalking ritual has drawn thousands of worshippers across Karnataka, India. Every year, a trench is filled with burning embers, reaching temperatures capable of causing devastating injuries in seconds. Yet, despite the obvious danger, participants willingly step into the fire, believing the ritual to be an act of faith, sacrifice, and devotion. On the evening of June 26th, in a village located in Karnataka's Ballari district, the firewalking ritual was underway. The sound of drums echoed through the village while hundreds of onlookers gathered around the glowing fire pit, watching as participants crossed the burning embers one after another. Everything appeared normal. Among those preparing to enter the fire was a 28-year-old man named Devaraj. In the video, he's seen stepping forward carrying a burning torch in one hand and a container of oil in the other. There was nothing unusual about the moment. Others had already completed the ritual without incident, and there was every reason to believe he would do the same. But then, in the space of only a few seconds, everything changed. As Devaraj made his way across the trench, he suddenly lost his balance. He fell directly into the burning embers. The crowd's cheers instantly turned into screams. People standing nearby rushed toward the pit without hesitation. Several men reached into the flames, pulling him free as others desperately tried to put out the fire engulfing his clothes. It was a frantic rescue, carried out in front of hundreds of horrified witnesses. Those few seconds inside the fire had already done catastrophic damage. Devaraj suffered severe burns across much of his body and was rushed to the Vijayanagara Institute of Medical Sciences in Ballari. Doctors admitted him to the intensive care unit, where he remained in critical condition as family members and villagers waited for news. But the injuries were simply too extensive. In the early hours of the following morning, despite every effort to save him, Devaraj died from his burns. The Alai Kuni ritual has been practiced for generations, and every year countless participants complete it without incident. But traditions built around extreme acts of devotion carry an undeniable risk. And sometimes, all it takes is a single misstep, and a ceremony that has endured for centuries can become remembered for an entirely different reason.
Christopher, first of all, the first reaction everyone's going to have here is, why? Why did you choose to do what you did in that situation?
On December 9th, 2011, a quiet afternoon in Hollywood turned into complete chaos.
There's a madman in the street.
The area around Sunset Boulevard and Vine Street was busy with traffic, pedestrians, and the usual noise of the city. Then, without warning, 26-year-old Tyler Brame walked into the intersection carrying a handgun and opened fire.
There's a madman in the street. Oh my God, you alright? There's a madman just shot people.
Witnesses watched in shock as he began shooting at random cars and people passing through the area.
He's shooting people. He's shooting people at will. There's a madman. There's a madman.
In a matter of minutes, more than 20 rounds were fired in the middle of one of Los Angeles' most recognizable streets. One of the victims was John Atterbury, who was a music executive who had worked with major artists like Michael Jackson and Snoop Dogg. He was shot while driving through the intersection and later died from his injuries. 2 other people were also injured during the attack, but they lived. What made the incident even more disturbing was how public it was. The shooting was happening in broad daylight, in front of witnesses who had no idea what Tyler would do next.
He fully shot that fucking car, dude. The window out of that car.
Yep.
He could have hit that person. I don't know.
He might have.
A man named Christopher John, recording from an apartment above, began shouting at Brame in an attempt to distract him from the people below.
Eat my dick! Ah! Shoot me, bitch! Shoot me! Come on! Hey, why don't you come up here? Come on up here, buddy! Come here! Stop being a pussy! Come on up! Let's do some...
As Chris continued shouting at Tyler, trying to draw his attention away from the people he's shooting at, Tyler finally looked up at him. Instead of firing, he yelled back, telling Chris to call an ambulance. Just seconds later, police arrived at the scene. Chris then starts screaming from his apartment to the police to take Tyler out.
I was just gonna fucking jump and I thought about you! I thought about you! I thought about a man shooting and you came! You came from God! You came from God! I don't have any, man! I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry, man! I thought of you and you came and you shot people! I thought of you just now! Take him out! Take him out! Take him out! Take him out! Take him out!
Moments later, after Tyler raised his handgun towards the responding officers, they opened fire, ending Tyler's life right then and there. After the shooting, authorities tried to determine what had led to the attack. There was no confirmed motive, but investigators learned that Tyler had recently gone through a difficult breakup with his girlfriend and had been under emotional stress. But police were never able to establish a clear reason for why he carried out the attack, and the victims appeared to have been chosen at random. What makes this incident so disturbing is that it shows how simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time can change your life forever. John Atterbury and the other victims had no connection to Tyler, They were ordinary people going about their day when they suddenly found themselves caught in a senseless act of violence. As far as I'm concerned, Chris is a hero. If it weren't for him distracting the shooter from his apartment window, there's a good chance even more people would have died.
Why did you choose to do what you did in that situation?
To answer your question, what you couldn't see off camera is at the intersection where you see him arrive when I really got loud. Off to the left, there is a log jam of vehicles, people trapped in their cars because the first cars saw him shooting, they stopped. So there was probably 30 or 40 cars with people trapped in them. So if he would have went to the left, as you see him start to walk right there as it's playing, he would have killed people at point blank range.
It was just a lot of commotion of yelling. I heard a blood-curdling scream.
It was just before 3 a.m. on April 30th, 2026, when a woman in Queens, New York called 911 in fear for her life. She told dispatchers that her husband, 50-year-old Anrup Parasram, had arrived at the home intoxicated, armed with a knife, and that there was a strong smell of gas inside the house. Officers were immediately en route to the address, believing they were heading to what appeared to be another domestic violence call. But by the time they arrived, the situation had already become far more dangerous. According to investigators, Anrup had forced his way into the basement apartment by pushing in a window air conditioner. Surveillance footage later showed him carrying 2 garbage bags filled with canisters containing an unknown substance before entering the home. Inside was his wife, daughter, and 2 young grandchildren. Thankfully, all 4 of them managed to escape before officers arrived. When police reached the scene, Anrup's wife handed them a key to the basement apartment where he had barricaded himself inside. As officers approached the door and attempted to unlock it, a massive explosion ripped through the home.
You alright?
The guy just lit the house on fire. We got an explosion.
Who's left?
6 Sergeant. Empty.
The blast threw officers backward, reduced much of the house to rubble, and ignited a fire that quickly consumed what remained of the building. The explosion was so powerful that neighbors described feeling their homes shake as debris was scattered across the street. Despite being knocked to the ground, the responding officers and firefighters immediately ran back toward the burning house, searching for anyone who might still be trapped inside. In the smoke, they found the other family that lives in the apartment home and quickly got them to safety. Several officers in the family that was rescued was injured in the blast, but they all survived. It took hours before the fire was finally extinguished, but once it was, investigators began searching through what was left of the home. Buried beneath the rubble, they found the body of Anrup Parasram. At first, investigators didn't know exactly what had caused the explosion, but it didn't take long for the evidence to point in one direction. Security footage showed Anrup arriving at the home carrying 2 garbage bags, which is believed to be gasoline. Combined with the 911 call reporting the smell of gas inside the home, it was obvious to investigators that the explosion had been intentionally set. Authorities believe he deliberately ignited flammable materials inside the basement apartment, just as officers were attempting to enter. The explosion wasn't simply the result of a domestic dispute. It was an intentional act that was meant to harm his family and the officers attempting to enter the home. As detectives looked further into his history, they learned this wasn't the first time police had been called to the house. They discovered there had been multiple previous domestic violence incidents involving him, and that orders of protection had been issued against him in the past, although they had expired before that night. What makes this case so remarkable is that, despite a family being inside the home and officers being so close to the explosion, No one died except the one who caused this. My heart goes out to everyone affected by this incident.
Footprints. Bro, this shit is still smoking. Somebody's in here doing something. Look. What in the fuck is going on? Somebody was literally just in here. There's cigarettes. That was close. Dude, I almost fell in that water. Yo, that is nuts. And there's so many like weird, odd rooms like that down here. Not much left. That's for sure. Barbed wire going through there.